Mark Mullet announced his bid for governor this morning. We knew that this was coming. In fact, it was on our show that State Senator Mark Mullet had initially kind of hinted at the fact that he was strongly considering a bid for governor. And then last week I was in Walla Walla speaking to the Washington Trucking Association. Mark Mullet spoke after me, and it was an unofficial launch of his campaign, really, where he said, yes, I am in the coming days going to announce my bid for governor. So he did that this morning. Here is a little bit of the launch video.
Look, Washington is like no other place. There's opportunity, diversity, and innovation. But it also desperately needs change. We have to lower costs for families, and that starts with affordable housing. Creating more pathways to the middle class by expanding vocational programs and recognizing a renewable economy creates a strong economy. But the same politicians in Olympia that you see on the news, they're not going to be any different. They're too entrenched in the same fights, in the same tired solutions. We can't keep trying to tax our way out of every problem. That's why I decided to run for governor, because I know our state can stay true to our democratic values and make it easier for the middle class to thrive. Because I know we can continue to lead the nation in fighting climate change while also being a friendly state to do business in. I'll stay focused on the challenges and opportunities of everyday Washingtonians, not the extremes, so we can deliver the best education to lift up the next generation and make sure every family can afford to live and thrive here. It's going to take all of us together to write the next chapter for Washington.
And I will say, I really liked the video. I enjoyed it. It was like 3 minutes long, and these social media launch videos have gotten out of control. They're way too long to play in their entirety. But I did like the video, talking about going back to his roots, working class family. And I will say, Mark Mullet, he's doing well financially. He's a business owner. But, I think he talks about the ability to sort of scratch your way up and to work hard. And I think it's clear that I think highly of him as a politician in terms of he has dissented from his party a lot. Now, I have taken issue with some of his votes. He voted to ban semi-automatic rifles this past legislative session. He voted in favor of Senate Bill 5599, a topic that we discussed with him on one of our episodes of Sundays with Subscribers. So those are things that I think even for some moderates, he's going to have to continue to explain himself on. And certainly when we have him on as a gubernatorial candidate, I look forward to discussing some of those issues with him. However, I will say, I think Mark Mullet had the best possible first day of a gubernatorial campaign that you can hope for. You know why? Bob Ferguson, who everyone, is sort of believing is the front runner, and I think there's reasons for that. He must be so scared about the prospect of Senator Mark Mullet running against him that late last night, in anticipation of Mark Mullet announcing his bid today, Bob Ferguson released an attack ad against Senator Mark Mullet. So it was ready on day one. So I'm going to play for you. It's only 30 seconds long, but here's the attack ad.
3 reasons why Mark Mullet is the wrong choice for governor.
1, Mullet was the only Democrat to vote against protecting our reproductive health data. Pro-choice Washington strongly opposed his vote.
2, Mullet opposed the $15 minimum wage for Washingtonians, including his own workers.
3, Mullet's bankrolled by big corporations, big oil, big pharma, and big insurance.
3 reasons why.
Mark Mullet is completely out of touch
And the wrong choice for us.
Big oil, big pharma, big insurance. I don't think, okay, there's a few things there. I do find it interesting, and to me, it reeks of desperation a little bit that you have Bob Ferguson, who already comes out day one and says, oh my gosh, we need to have an attack ad ready the day that Mark Mullet launches, because to me, it signals that he views Senator Mullet as a threat. But I find just that attack ad in general very telling, and it's got these 3 women, and they're all kind of look similar, and it almost is meant to instill fear in voters about, they talked about how Mark Mullet voted against House Bill 1155, which had to do with reproductive health data, which they said in there, but I think it's sort of trying to act as if Mark Mullet is anti-abortion or something, which he's not. And then they say, oh, he didn't support a $15 an hour minimum wage, not even for his own workers. Yeah, but here's the thing. I don't think that Mark Mullet is trying to appeal to people who want to raise the minimum wage, to $15, $20, $25 an hour. I think he knows that the progressive wing of the Democratic Party is not his base. Bob Ferguson already has the market cornered on that. So that's not who he's trying to appeal to anyway. And trying to scare people with, oh, he's supported by big business. Again, I think the people who would look down on that are the more progressive voters who Bob Ferguson already has. And so Mark Mullet, I think if he stays in his lane, ads like that aren't really going to bother him. But the other reason that I say this is probably the best first day of a gubernatorial campaign that Mark Mullet could hope for is The Stranger already ran a hit piece on him. And The Stranger for me is the anti-endorsement. So if The Stranger likes someone, there's a real good chance that I would never vote for that person. This story was written by Rich Smith over at The Stranger. It says State Senator Mark Mullet is running for governor, and the subhead is ha 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 ha. And so they just go into this huge hit piece into Mark Mullet. And again, I think that's an endorsement for Mark Mullet and who he's trying to appeal to, who he's going to get votes from. They don't respect The Stranger. They don't read The Stranger. They wouldn't support Bob Ferguson anyway. And so I just think you have The Stranger and Bob Ferguson trying to take Mark Mullet down a peg or two his first day of the campaign. And I think they actually serve to do the opposite.